Good afternoon, everybody, Israel Briefer community and all our new friends. Welcome to the Israel Brief. I am Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, where we take a look at those top stories making headlines, and we do it every Monday to Thursday. So warm welcome to all of you from Northern Ireland to Trinidad and Tobago to Oregon to South Africa to Israel and everywhere in between. A huge welcome. As always, the Israel Brief is brought to you in conjunction with these guys, Lay of the Land. Now, I have a few housekeeping things I have to remind you of. If you have a question, please pop it in the comments section below or be in touch with us via Facebook or our website. And because today is Wednesday, which means tomorrow's Thursday, and on a Thursday I announce the Mensch and the Moron of the Week, please don't forget to get those nominations through to me. Last week there were multiple Mensches and multiple Morons. So what is it going to be this week? Tune in tomorrow to find out. In the meantime, it is day 488. We still have 79 hostages held captive by Hamas and other terror entities. Now, some of you have asked me if we would see another release tomorrow, because we had 2 releases of hostages last week. At the moment, it doesn't look likely. It is probably only that we will see the release of another group of hostages on Saturday. Now, the reason that we had the 2 releases last week is because Hamas violated the terms of the ceasefire agreement, which stated that civilian hostages, female hostages, had to be released first. And of course, they did not release Arbel Yahud, who was held captive by Palestinian Islamic Jihad. And so we had that plus the release of 5 Thai nationals who were not on the list of 33 that are included in this first phase of the 3-phase deal. So I hope that clears up some questions for some of you out there. And also to be clear, because I get this question a lot, we still don't know about the fate of Shiri Bibas and those 2 beautiful flame-haired boys, Kfir and Ariel. We remain gravely concerned, and as soon as we know about their fate, I will update you guys on the Israel Brief. So let's get into those top stories, and this was the announcement. I must be honest, I did not have on my bingo card. And this was the bombshell heard around the world from President Trump last night following his meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu, that announced that he intends to take over the Gaza Strip. What he said in his statement is this would entail temporarily relocating Gazas to other Arab countries. Now, he did not include a right of return for Palestinians to return to the Gaza Strip. But what he did say was that the conditions were unlivable and that it would take about 10 to 15 years to rebuild Gaza. So what he envisions is leveling the Gaza Strip and rebuilding from scratch. He says he intends to create thousands of jobs and bring stability, and also create a scenario that the Middle East can be proud of. He says if necessary, he will send the military. Now, of course, none of us could have envisioned it. And I remember a couple of weeks ago, excuse me, when the details of the ceasefire deal were announced, my instinct said that we've been told to compromise on this because something bigger is coming down the pike. And in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, this could be the something big. Remember, I said a short-term pain for long-term gain? Well, I think this could possibly be it. Because let's be honest, whatever has happened in Gaza in the last decades, it is not working. And maybe it is time for a completely different mindset and approach. Now, of course, this bombshell was met with a whole lot of reactions. The Prime Minister, who was seated next to President Trump, said, "Your willingness to think outside the box with fresh ideas will help us to achieve these goals." He says, and I've seen you do this many times. You cut to the chase, see things others refuse to see, say things others refuse to say, and after the jaws drop, people scratch their heads and say, you know, he's right. This is the kind of thinking that enabled us to bring the Abraham Accords, enabled us to shape the Middle East and bring peace. Now, also to clarify, nowhere in the statement are intentions of Israel to occupy the Gaza Strip. I want to put that out there and be very clear about that. As you can imagine, the proposal was rejected by the Saudi leadership as well as Hamas, the Palestinian Authority, and many European Union leaders. Australia said they reiterate their call for a two-state solution. However, President Trump said that he had spoken to some Middle Eastern leaders and they thought it was a good plan. He didn't say which ones. Now, the statement followed the meeting that the two leaders had shortly after President Trump viewed the 47-minute footage of body cam footage, dash cam footage that had been gathered, the thousands of hours of footage that had been gathered from the terrorists and other cameras on the 7th of October, and you could see that the president was visibly shaken. He said, I will never forget that. He said, and especially now that so many people deny these events ever happened, we will make sure that they are not forgotten. Now, what I did find quite entertaining is that Prime Minister Netanyahu gave the president a golden pager, and President Trump said that was a very good operation. Now, what is interesting is President Trump's idea has been welcomed by a whole host of different Israeli leaders, National Unity Chairperson Benny Gantz, who's also the former defense minister and also former Ramatkal or IDF Chief of Staff, welcomed it and said that this is the out-of-the-box thinking that we need. President Herzog said the idea alluded to the strong alliances between the US and the state of Israel, and the leader of the opposition, Yair Lapid, did not dismiss it, but he did say we need to investigate the terms of this deal and this proposal a lot more carefully. President Trump was full of announcements yesterday. He also announced that he would be withdrawing the United States from the United Nations Human Rights Council. And of course, there are a whole lot of different opinions on whether or not that is a good idea. Consecutive ambassadors, not just from the US, but from other countries as well, have picked out the UNHRC for its extraordinary bias against the Jewish state. Now, in his previous administration, he did the same thing. President Biden entered the UNHRC, but the president has pulled out, and many of the opinion that, is this a good idea? Because maybe you need to be in the room to affect real change. The president also announced the cutting of all future funding to UNRWA, the United Nations Relief Works Agency. Incidentally, I don't see an UNRWA having any role to play in any future in Gaza underneath Trump's proposal. And making it a hat trick, the president also announced that he would be reissuing his harsh conditions on Iran. This is his campaign of maximum pressure that he took from his first term of office. This is in order to drive the oil prices down and prevent Iran from becoming nuclear. However, a short while ago, the president tweeted out that any rumors or any ideas that Israel and the United States would be, quote unquote, blowing Iran to smithereens is not true. He says he would like Iran to prosper, and he does envisage a good deal, one that would bring peace and one that would allow Iran to prosper. So quite a day of announcements from President Trump. And finally, let's end on a good note. And many of us were very, very moved to see a group of musicians at Beilinson Hospital yesterday giving a private salute to the 5 IDF surveillance soldiers, Liri, Naama, Karina, Daniela, and Agam. You could see them pictured or filmed standing above while the musicians serenaded them with Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. So those are our top stories for today. But Rob from Virginia asks this question. He says, Rolene, how can we in the United States stand up for Israel? Well, this is a great question. I think there are so many ways you can do it. You can pray, you can show your support for Israel, you can have rallies, but I think very importantly is to challenge the media when they propagate the Hamas propaganda and don't bring you factual reporting. The other ways that you can challenge or rather support Israel is by visiting Israel, by supporting Israeli businesses and companies, supporting your Jewish neighbors who are feeling the effects of rampant anti-Semitism, and of course making sure that you bear witness to the atrocities of what happened on the 7th of October through testimonies and being the voices of the victims and the hostages. And as always, reminding the world that we still have 79 hostages. We want them home now. So those are some ideas. There are many, many, many more. If you have ideas, pop them in the comments section below. So that's it from me for today, guys. Don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our YouTube channel is right here at the Israel Brief. Let's grow our community. So if you like this, please click on that subscribe button. We are on Facebook/Meta at Lottel's site, on Instagram at Rolene_Marks, on LinkedIn at Rolene Marks, and on X at layoftheland. So guys, God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. I will catch you tomorrow for the Thursday edition of the Israel Brief. Bye for now.